What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Double B here, back with another video. Before we get started, as always, I'd appreciate it if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe. Since this video is for Sunday, NFL Week 12 football picks, it'll be November 24th, so if you can just comment the number 24 down below, be much appreciated. Before we get into Sunday's picks, just do a quick recap on how we did on Thursday Night Football. So we had 3 straights. We went 2-1, so profitable day. So can't complain about that. The first pick was Chris Boswell over 1.5 field goals. That cashed. I would consider pretty lucky considering how bad the weather got, but I will take that. This one was kind of frustrating. Jerome Ford over 11.5 receiving yards. He had 1 catch for 8 yards on the first drive of the game and never even got another target after that. So that kind of sucked. Bad read on my end. And then the second play that cashed was Jameis Winston over 210.5 pass yards. So it was a little sweaty. Didn't cash till towards the end of the game, but he still came through for us at the end. So without any further ado, I'm going to get into Sunday's picks. So I have 8 player props and a couple ladders and a couple touchdown picks. So like I said, you have a pretty heavy card for this Sunday, but I like the slate. All these plays are all actually for the 1 o'clock games. So I haven't really looked too much into Sunday Night Football. But if I have any added plays for the 4 o'clock slate and the Sunday Night Football slate, of course, I will add them in the pinned comments, and they will also be posted on my Twitter. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get started into these picks. The first pick here I have is Jaden Daniels over 39.5 rush yards. So Cowboys are one of the worst defenses in the league this year against the run, whether it's running back or quarterback. Just in general, they've just been getting beat on the ground. So Dallas, they allow the 4th most rush yards to QBs. Jaden Daniels has been over this line in 4 out of his 5 home games this year. The only one he actually has missed in was against the Steelers, who rank 3rd in QB rush yards. So, it was a tough matchup, the only game that he missed on. But, like I said, he hasn't hit in the last 3 games as well, but he was coming off that rib injury, and he had a couple tough matchups, and they had a mini bye week. They didn't play since last Thursday, so in this matchup, I think this is the game he gets back on track and starts to use his legs a little bit, especially with, Micah Parsons coming in there. I think it'll make him scramble, and Dallas, they give up a lot of chunk plays on the ground, so, he can get this. He could even get this in 1 carry, honestly. So, really like the play for Jaden Daniels. You could really go either one. If you wanted to go a Brian Robinson, you can do that as well. Don't hate either one of them. Next play here is Devon Achane over 68.5 rush yards. So, I do feel like this line's a little low for him. So, the Patriots allow the 5th most rush yards to running backs. And, for, quite some time, it's usually been a pretty split backfield between him and Raheem Mostert. But with Mostert's fumbling issues this year, over the past 2 weeks, Achane has looked like the main featured running back. He has gotten 17 and 12 carries in both of those games. I know 12 carries doesn't seem like a lot, but the game with 12 carries, Raheem Mostert didn't even have a carry, and they have Wright as well, their 3rd-string running back. He has been getting more carries than Raheem Mostert, but he only had 5 carries in each game. So, again, it doesn't really seem that Achane should be seeing a dip in production at all, and they're 7.5-point favorites in this game, and they're at home. Again, a great matchup. I think Achane can definitely go over this number. This one here is probably my ugliest play of the week. Caleb Williams over 201 pass yards. So the Vikings have an elite run defense, but they do allow a lot of pass yards, fifth most passing yards in the game. So last week the Bears offense looked like they had some life to it with new offensive coordinator taking over. He did have 231 passing yards on 31 attempts. That is Caleb Williams. So I'm glad those numbers are. I think those numbers will end up increasing this week. The Bears ran the ball 34 times last week. I don't think they're going to be able to do that against Minnesota. I think Caleb Williams is going to have to throw the ball more, in my opinion. So, I think it's a good spot. It's not really a high number, and I think he can get the job done this week for us. So I was looking at the receivers, or even Cole Kmet. We cashed Cole Kmet receptions last week. But, they spread the ball around a lot. And again, new offensive coordinator, still have to see how things go, where, who they're going to be featured and, how they're going to run the offense. So I'd rather just play it safe and take his pass yards. Next spot here is Josh Downs, over 55.5 receiving yards. So Josh Downs is over this number in his last 7 out of 8 games. Now he's going up against the Lions, who allow the second most yards to receivers, and a big chunk of that comes from the slot, which is where Josh Downs plays the majority of his snaps. So, again, another game where the Colts are big underdogs. They're plus 7.5. So I see the Colts having to throw the ball, and also the Lions have an elite rush defense. Don't think Jonathan Taylor is really going to do much in this game, so I think it's going to force Anthony Richardson to pass the ball a lot, and I think, Josh Downs seemed to be his favorite target so far this year, and yeah, like I said, I think the Colts, if they've been playing from behind, they're going to have to throw the ball, and I really like the spot here for him, especially being at home. So yeah, definitely grabbing Josh Downs. I did actually throw a unit and a half on this play. So, definitely like this play here for Josh Downs. Next play here, this is one of the ladders I did end up laddering this play here, which is Theo Johnson over 21.5 receiving yards. So, again, could be an ugly play, but I do like this play a lot. So, the Bucks do allow the second most receiving yards to tight ends this season, and Theo Johnson is over this line in his last 5 of 6 games. So yes, obviously they have the new quarterback with Tommy DeVito, but to me, I don't think that hurts at all. I think it even helps him. With a new quarterback coming in, most of the time, the teams, they keep it simple. They, especially to start off the game, is they want to build up the confidence of the quarterback. They want to have quick throws, simple reads, and a lot of that usually comes from the tight end or running back. So I think Theo Johnson, I think the Giants also want to, this second half of the season, I think they really want to let the young guys establish themselves, build chemistry, and, build up their confidence overall. And again, with this matchup here, I don't see why the Giants wouldn't try to exploit this. Again, with the new quarterback coming in, and like I said, there's rookie tight end. I think they want to see what they have from him. So I really like the spot here. I did ladder him up to 40 plus yards for a half unit and 50 plus yards for a quarter unit. So this also leads me into my next play. Now, I don't do this very often, and what I mean by this is I usually don't play two props on the same team, especially like receiving yards, but they're not both receivers. They're a running back and a tight end. And as you can see here, Tyrone Tracy over 10.5 receiving yards. So again, both numbers are extremely low. And as I was saying earlier with my Theo Johnson play, again, I see the Giants keeping it short and simple, easy passes, building up his confidence. And again, another rookie that the Giants, they want to have him more involved in. It seems like he's taken the starting role from Devin Singletary. And Tyrone Tracy played receiver in college. So I don't see why they wouldn't use him this game, when also the Bucks, you thought the tight end matchup was bad. The Bucks actually allow the most receiving yards to running backs this year. So I mean, I don't see what, again, two matchups where the Giants should absolutely exploit to, like I said, if they want to have a good chance and be competitive in this game, they need to exploit the weaknesses in the Bucs defense, and that is the tight ends and running backs. And like I said, it makes sense when you have a new quarterback coming in here, Tommy DeVito. I know technically he's not new, he's been there, but this is his first start this year. So why not? Again, I think those are the two guys he should definitely be, looking to target, especially early on in this game, building up the confidence, trying to open up the game a little bit, and then maybe he can take some shots down the field with, Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, trying to do more things. Wendell Robinson could be a look to because he's a receiver, but he does run a lot of those short routes, underneath stuff. But with the numbers you're getting for these two guys, I really love. They're really small. I didn't ladder Tyrone Tracy. But I wouldn't hate playing as like 25 plus, maybe, if you're playing like a lotto or something. But just for me, I'm just playing his over 10.5 at 1 unit. And Theo Johnson, as I said, the ladder, his 21.5 was for a unit. And then the other two, the 40 plus was a half unit and 50 plus was a quarter unit. This play here, these are 2 touchdown lottos, so this is pretty much just based off Jake Ferguson's been announced, or he's been ruled out with a concussion, so he's out this week. So I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys 2 tight ends. So Luke Schoonmaker is going to be the starting tight end for Dallas this week. I got him at plus 410 through a half unit on his touchdown, and I also threw on Spanford at plus 1100, which is a quarter unit. So yeah, I did not put 50 cents on a quarter. Yeah, it's just to represent the units, what I'm playing them on. So whatever your unit is, like I said, just play that, for a half unit on Luke and a quarter unit on Spanford. So Washington allows the second most touchdowns in the league to tight ends, and last week after Ferguson went down, Luke had 10 targets for 6 catches, I think like 56 yards. And even Spanford had 5 targets with 4 catches for like 42 yards. So Cooper Rush seemed to be targeting these guys quite a bit. So and especially, the big thing is them getting to the red zone. But I think if Dallas can get to the red zone, I think these are going to be guys he's going to be looking for. So definitely worth just a sprinkle, Again, like I said, if I'm playing it for a half and a quarter, but if you're not comfortable with playing that much, just throw a couple bucks on it. I think either one of those guys have a good chance to score this week. And my next play here is Aaron Jones over 61.5 rush yards. So the Bears do allow the 5th most yards per carry to running backs. So I really like the spot here for Aaron Jones. He's been really good this year. He's kind of been under the radar, but he's been big for Minnesota, and Sam Darnold has kind of reverted back to himself over the last few weeks. So I think if they want to beat the Bears, I think that they need to run the ball, because the Bears actually have a decent pass defense this year. And it's hard to you're not going to shut down Justin Jefferson, but they can probably contain him the best they can. And if they're taking him out of the game, TJ Hawkinson, he's looked okay coming back. He might have a decent game, but other than that, I really like Aaron Jones on the ground. You could even play his rushing receiving yards as well. But I'd rather at 61.5, I think you're getting a solid price for him in this matchup. I'm not too worried about Cam Akers taking work away from him. I know he's been involved last couple weeks, but Aaron Jones is still the main guy. So until that changes, I'm still riding with Aaron Jones. And then my last play here is a ladder play. So this is Jadavon Sanders. I think that's how you pronounce the name. He's the Panthers tight end. So I'm really big on Sanders this week. So he's going up against the Chiefs defense, who allow the most receiving yards to tight ends. That's how, that's pretty much all the Chiefs allow. Like I said, they shut down the run, they shut down receivers. Their weakness in their defense, their soft spot, is against tight ends. So Sanders has been over this game in his last 3 of 5 games, and the 2 games that he did miss was against the Broncos and Giants, who rank top 10 against tight end, allowing their receiving yards. So 2 tough matchups that he did not go over in. So I played his 20.5 receiving yards at 1 unit, as you can see here, and then I laddered him up to 50 yards at 40 plus for plus 295 and 50 plus for plus 500. So again, another tight end that I really like, and I think you're getting some pretty good value. I think you're getting a low number for him, considering how involved he's been in. I know Adam Thielen's coming back, but he's a veteran receiver. He's an older receiver. He's been in the game for a while. He's been out most of the year, and he's on the Panthers, who they have nothing going for them this year. They're not going to make the playoffs. They have, I don't see him getting a lot of snaps his first game back. I think he's going to be on some type of limit. So to me, I'm not worried about Thielen taking work away from Sanders at all. So again, Sanders, I think they want to see what they have in him. I think they want to, have him involved in the offense, build the chemistry with him and Bryce Young, see if Sanders is a good future piece to pair with Bryce Young. And again, this is a soft matchup, and I think they should, exploit it, and they should, be using Sanders heavily this week. So, really like the spot for him. And, that was my last play. Like I said, if I have any more plays, they will be added to the comments. I will pin the comments down below on this video, and of course, they'll be on my Twitter at @BB_picks. The link will be in the description in this video. So, yeah, nothing else to say. Just want to wish you guys best of luck with your bets this week. And, appreciate you guys watching. So, peace.